another thrilling tale, another adventure of the Kobolds. Last time, for your party, you had quite easily dispatched a group of drow explorers who had ambushed you from a place that resembled a bit much like an observatory of some kind, or a wizard's workshop. But as they tried to fight you, and even with their advantage in surprising you, you had quickly destroyed their morale, and as their leader, a dark elven mage, tried to escape invisibly, Hox Hagnar cut him down, along with Skinnock. And without learning how these drow managed to sneak in to the glacier, and with that mystery still in your minds, you guys ventured forward, where you had met a dryad by the name of Hathawin, who was bound to a specific grove with purple trees, giving out purple pears to each tree, to which each one had a specific magical gift, to which you all had ingested and now have at your disposal. It seemed, however, that the dryad was bound to this grove and could not leave, and it was very clear that she had not had company in a very long time. She did not know much about what happened to Ythryn, only that there was a massive explosion, and that her grove was safely transported here once the city fell. She also knew that some of the apprentices, some of the mages who had survived the crash, had had a strange and horrific transformation, turning into creatures called Nothics, singular-eyed creatures, shambling and mad. 4 of which who had come to devour some of her purple pears in her garden, to which as she tried to hide, you all managed to try and get some information out of them, which Professor Scant had to translate. They had used the ancient tongue of the Loros, the ancient tongue of Netheril, to which some information was gleaned. Some very important information regarding certain artifacts and spells that were left behind, namely, but not limited to, a scroll that could theoretically summon the legendary creature known as the Tarask. And to get to the center of the city, to where the Mithilar, a device that could carry the city aloft, was hidden, one needs to find a ritual of some kind. And unfortunately, the details of said ritual were lost in the translation of the Nothics. You managed to scare the Nothics away. Before you could destroy them, they managed to run away deeper into the caves, to which their direction, or the whence they came, the Dryad told you was the direction of the Lost City, where you would find it. And so you went. And here it is at last, the fallen city of Ythryn. Frozen obsidian spires in this massive necropolis, tilted at an angle as if recoiling away from you. It is brimming with all manner of dim, flickering lights, almost like lamplight throughout the city, giving some almost strange false life to this dead, crumbling husk. And so with that, we start. How do you all wish to proceed?
Well,
Cautiously. I'm not hurt, but I'm not okay. I'm a little woozy.
Well, if we wanted to set up camp here before entering the city, I'm sure I'll have become much bigger by then. You know, we can go stomping in.
That is an option, for sure.
Yes, this Evelyn will kind of step in. Yes, it would give a little bit of an advantage, but also a disadvantage to you, Hawks, should you wish to get into places that only we, with someone of our size, would be able to, should you prove to grow too large for doorways or smaller cracks.
Well,
Can't Canuck do something about that?
I believe he mentioned something like that, yes. Can you, Skinnock?
Ganak?
He's busy working on that
Sorry,
tool.
muted.
Oh, it's all good, all good.
Let me double check. I can do something about that, but we would need to finish a long rest to do so. I think we just did.
Did we?
We did not recently, but...
I still have some things that are down. I don't have any hit points missing, but I do have.
I do
some
think
abilities.
that we had discussed taking a long rest right here on
Correct.
the
I don't
ice
think we ever
bridge.
decided though.
Yeah, that you did, and it would be just about the time for it, if you wanted to. You still have technically maybe a couple hours, but it's close enough in time frame that it would be. I would allow it.
Do we want to do a little bit of like preliminary checking before, or are we too on the cusp for anybody?
We could do some scouting real quick. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I'm honestly pretty solid at the moment. So
All right. Well, let me know when we want to start the emboldening bond. I'm gonna hold off until it seems like it's useful.
makes sense.
I still got a couple uses though, and it'll come back after the rest.
Well then, I'm in pretty good shape myself, so
All right, let's go forward. Let's satiate Valin's desires for a little bit here, just enough to calm her down so we can get that rest.
Much appreciated. I am quite eager to continue and explore.
I see you bouncing on your toes.
You noticed. She'll kind of like. She'll calm herself a little bit. But it is appreciated.
So who wants to go first?
Yes.
I will.
Right behind you.
All right. So in that case, you start making your way down this icy causeway. Yeah, you watch as green and purple lights as you're kind of getting closer, green and purple lights kind of cast an otherworldly glow upon the frost draping the city. You can feel a slight rumble far up above you as a little bit of ice just begins to splatter every now and again. Clawing spires, broken domes, and steeples, leaning at odd angles. As you're getting closer, you can see everything in the city seems to kind of be built around this central obsidian spire. As you kind of go down this icy causeway, at the very foot of it, as you get close to the sea itself, I will say, let me see here. You'll notice something very, very odd. The first thing that you notice is the smell. The smell of a perhaps day or two old kill. You see 4 dark elven corpses strewn about this causeway. They appear as if some great concussive force smashed all their spines, all of their heads, their arms, all just strewn about. And there's also, interestingly enough, what appears to be a statue of some kind that is kind of leaned over, doubled over, in fact. It's a very odd design. It resembles, in its vaguest sense, a humanoid, but it is massive. It is at least 21 feet tall. Where a head would be, there is only this featureless nub that kind of erupts out from where the shoulders are. Where like the stomach would be, there is a massive jaw and mouth filled with sharp teeth and a massive elongated tongue. It has these long spindly arms and legs, and you watch at its side, there is sort of a crack in the ground where a massive warhammer, around about half the size of the statue itself, the gleaming metal, is just laying on its side next to the statue.
Does it look like it's made of the same material as the statue?
It does not. It is made out of this silvery sort of metal. That is, what you see is engraved with many different kind of finely detailed notches. Not arcane sigils, but just very intricately designed. Yeah, almost, it's like a sledgehammer, like a big sledgehammer.
Interesting. How big is it?
It's, I would say, like the statue itself is 21 feet tall, give or take, because it's a bit hunched over. The warhammer, the sledgehammer itself is about half that size. So I'd say around like 10 feet long, I'd say, 11 to 10 feet long.
See. Well, that's concerning.
Does it look like the statue could wield it?
It could, yes. Given if it was animate, which it doesn't seem to be.
I have a feeling when we're dealing with a city of mages that stuff that looks like it could be animate might eventually be, even if it's not currently.
To that,
Right.
I would certainly agree. In fact, let's see, this seems familiar.
Wait, how big is this statue?
21 feet
20.
tall. It would be considered a huge size if it was a creature.
And
Okay.
it's made of like stone or something.
Yep, it's completely made out of stone.
So it's not the thing. It's not the iron golem.
No. Yeah, that, as you recall, was a part of the head of an iron golem. This is made out of stone.
Right.
Right. That's what he was saying.
So, So if this thing was animate, and it killed these drow, did the drow we fought escape it or defeat it?
Go ahead and roll investigation checks, if you wish, for anyone who wants to.
I would like to do so without approaching, without getting close to it. Would that put me at
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm gonna use emboldening bond instead of making the check, so I can help with that.
That's fair. It is very scary scales. And you have gotten a bit braver over time, but it is terrifying to behold. This makes sense for you, Skinnock. You may go ahead and roll that d4 if you wish.
Oh, yes. Whoa.
Okay, so it's going to be a 22. With that, you definitely notice that there are crossbow bolts and swords that are stuck into the statue itself. Then you have a thought. Do you wish to make... You said you didn't want to get closer. Do you want to do a test crossbow bolts? A test crossbow bolt attack, if you will.
I think I would prefer to do a firebolt.
Firebolt? That will work as well.
25.
25?
Actually, if it's possibly 18 if it's prone. I think
it's
I
not
might have heard
technically considered prone. It's still standing up, technically, although it's hunched over. From your investigation and from your tech roll, you gather that at one point, this creature might not have been made of stone. Because crossbow bolts of that caliber and swords of that caliber would not be able to pierce, even as magical or as well made as they are, would not be able to slash or pierce that deeply into pure stone if it was just a statue. Something had to have happened before to make it either not stone or animate in such a way that its flesh was just more pliable. You don't think this is this creature's natural state, and you think it might actually be dead. You're pretty sure.
Well, in that case, let's loot the bodies.
At the bodies, you find... That's a good question.
The bodies on the floor. The bodies on the floor.
Bodies on the floor. Unfortunately, most of their stuff is kind of smashed. However, you do find there are 2 vials of that drow poison that are still workable and still usable. You will also find on that person 38 pieces of gold among all of them.
Oh.
And I will say, because they were carrying crossbow bolts, I would say you would also find 10 usable crossbow bolts.
Okay, that's good. Does anyone else use a crossbow?
I mean, I have one. I use it to get stuff from one place to another really fast.
Fair enough. Do you want to split the bolts?
No, you can have them. I have plenty. I've used one this whole time.
I did used to use mine, but I have firebolt now. Suppose it might be useful if we run something fire immune. God forbid.
I know the horror.
Eldath forbid.
I am astounded that we haven't yet, with the way 5e's immunities work.
It's true. To be fair, you're kind of in an icy place, so things are more
That's true.
frost, cold immune than a fire immune.
That's true.
You'd think some of them would be both, though, or at least like immune to cold and resistant to fire or something like that.
The flame skulls technically were.
Yeah,
Right,
I'd almost think that they'd be more like that. Like some things might be resistant, but some things might also be vulnerable. But
Right.
vulnerabilities are rare.
Usually
Anyway.
plants are like
Cold.
vulnerable to...
I'm so cold that it protects against fire.
Right, that's kind of what I was thinking. Things like that.
Also, we did pass by a bunch of giant centipedes in boiling water that probably wouldn't
Oh, that's true.
That is
have
also
cared
true.
about.
Right, that's true. We did kind of ignore those things.
Your stealth was quite good. You all can keep the spoils of gold, Villain says. I'm more in the interest of the arcane and relics.
Cool. Going to go ahead and put the hammer into a bag as well. I might need some help with that.
The hammer is, let's
Does
just
it
say...
fit into a bag of holding?
No, it does not. Even if it did fit in, you imagine it to be so heavy and so dense, it would fill up a bag of holding by itself.
And Hawks lift it.
Not yet.
On the way out, we'll pick it up.
Yeah.
I could use a good boppin' stick.
I agree.
I mean, you have several, but yeah, I could see you using that.
Something boppier.
Yeah, all my boppin' sticks are either pointy boppin' sticks, or they're more like pokin' sticks.
Poking,
they're,
hacking, or bopping?
All of
Yeah,
my
I've got
strength.
poking and hacking covered. I just need bopping.
Right.
All of my strength. All of my might. For some reason, the voice enters every now and again. You think it's gone, but maybe it's just like some weird mental tick. Hard to say. Either way, you can explore in any direction that you wish. From your current pace, assuming you're going cautiously, which I assume you are,
Yes.
it takes you about every 200 feet is about 5 minutes or so. But if you're going to explore a location and more explore someplace thoroughly, that's going to take a longer period of time.
I suggest we go somewhere that looks like it'll be somewhat interesting, but only somewhat, so that we can get Valen out of there instead of having her want to stay back and look through stuff for 17 hours or whatever.
It's
That way
true.
we can go back and have our rest.
See what we got here.
Like an in and out kind of place.
Well, can we
I could
can
go
we
for
check
that.
out? Can we check out these spires along the outside of the city? It almost
Yeah.
looks like they were meant to hold like a dome or something.
That sounds as good. That sounds like as good a
Did you
place
say
to start then.
spires?
Yeah, these like claw-looking things.
Oh, okay. Those, yeah.
Indeed.
As
There-
long as they're not obelisks, I'm fine for now. I want to wait until later for that sort
It
of thing.
was just like twitching whenever anything. Are you sure it's tower? Are you sure it's tower? Not.
But yes,
Which,
these
you know what?
these do in fact appear to be spires. Like they do appear to be like, walkable towards. Interestingly enough, as you start to walk onto the city streets themselves, you notice that the city, as you were kind of walking along, the city is tilted at like a 45-degree angle downward away from you, like downward away. As soon as you start to walk onto the city proper, you feel a slight shift in gravitational force, allowing you to walk perfectly straight along the city streets, even at the supposed angle you know that it is.
Well, that's only a little bit
Yeah.
disorienting.
Interesting. I'm going to like really put you on the spot here, and I'm going to fire a crossbow bolt straight up.
Okay, you fire a crossbow bolt straight up. It goes straight up. And by straight up, I don't mean necessarily at the not at the 45-degree angle, like towards like where the gravitational force is directing you, but just straight up, as in where like normal up would be. So it's basically wherever you're aiming, it's going towards that location. Gravitational force is not altering it in any way.
Oh, so it's more like it's sort of like pulling us toward. So it's So it's like
It's-
sticking us to the floor almost. More
Yeah, it's
than-
like Super Mario Galaxy rules.
Interesting.
Ha, I never played Super Mario Galaxy. Rules don't apply to me.
Haha,
Haha!
me neither. I can just float off into the distance now.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Just like
like,
start whirling
I'm
whirling our tails at high
that
speed and just
that
lift
creature
off.
in Horton Hears a Who.
Yeah.
It just kind of floats off. Ah.
Yeah.
I still think first of Sonic Adventure 2's Mad Space.
Oh yeah,
Everybody has
yeah.
their own little wonky space thing that they think of.
Indeed, indeed. Well,
That being the case, we continue towards the spire things.
indeed. And I assume you're going towards the closest one as well.
Right.
Okay.
Sense makes sense.
The sensible one.
Let me move.
That's
you,
exactly what they want us to do.
Let me move you to a different map.
It's
Let me just-
exactly what we want to do too, so. Ha 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 ha.
Let me get your tokens.
Don't tell me what to do.
Only tell me I should do this tomorrow.
Da-na-na-na,
I'm making up
da-da-da-da.
a song I don't know the words to.
Hang on, where is...
If I were a bard, everyone would suffer, so I'm not.
That's at least half the reason I never played a bard.
I I have played a bard, and it's Cornelius, and he's a meme,
Uh-huh.
and it's in the meme game on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, I'm having trouble finding that particular... Okay, there it is. There's that one. But did I actually make it into a map? Okay, hang on 1 second. I have to actually... I uploaded the map file, but I did not actually put it on a Roll20 map because I'm very
Aha!
silly.
You've made a short-sighted mistake, which we forgive you for.
Thank you. I appreciate...
And in the meantime,
That's fine. I have it right
the
here.
maps are made by...
Yes, indeed, the maps. These lovely, lovely maps, which I have not forgotten to upload at all, are made by the lovely Tessa Moorcroft. Very talented individual. You can purchase their maps on DM's Guild. If you'll give me just a moment, I'll upload that link as soon as I upload this image, which is now going in to the Roll20. There it is. So let me move you all towards that. Very good. Now, let me paste those links into the... Switch my mouse over, because I can't find my other mouse for some reason. So, let me get those links out. I keep clicking the wrong thing. What is wrong with me? I'm just trying to support
artists.
Support your local DM's Guild artists. I literally had to take the text document up. Hang on, I'm so sorry. There we go. Here it is. Oh my gosh. I was having such a hard time, and I keep forgetting that I can't directly copy paste via right click into Streamlabs. No, you have to Control V everything. Terribly sorry for the mix-up. There we go. Right there is the links, and I'll make sure to put that in the YouTube description.
Show no remorse. You're the GM. Everything's on purpose. Everything has a reason.
Yes, and the purpose this time is that I like the suspense. Yes, that's what it is. The suspense.
The suspense of knowing what's in this tower.
The suspense of a great deal on DM's Guild. But yes, all that aside, you see before you the inside of one of these spires, a veritable, almost library-esque workshop. And yet, you see narrow windows sort of piercing the walls, and you watch as you're kind of looking at it. Gargoyles seem to cling to its eaves, and the doorway lies open for you as you walk inside. Or if you wish to inspect the outside before you do so, you may certainly do so as well. But you can see the inside a little bit just from where you're walking in. But the door is open.
Does it look like there's arrow slits almost?
It does.
Based on...
It does. Although most of what you can see, some of the arrow slits, like the windows, appear to have crumbled inward, probably from impact. You get that, like, if there is an upper floor to this spire, it most likely collapsed long ago. But you do see, at one point in time, there were arrow slits to be used as a defensible position, probably from the upper floor of this tower.
See, look how clever they are, right?
Pretty solid.
You've got arrow slits, right? But I bet you anything there wasn't any archers up there. That's why the lower floor looks like a library from here. And it's wizards doing studying.
Uh-huh.
Ready to jump up to the spire and use whatever it is they learned how to do.
Uh-huh.
That's
out of
my thought, at
curiosity.
least.
Does anybody else think that these These fellows look very ominous.
No, I was thinking exactly the same thing. I was thinking I was gonna shatter them.
Well, I think we ought to ask the professor what he thinks there. He's the expert. Velen might know too.
Well, I might do a few things. Normally, when gargoyles are present, they are indiscernible from regular statues as long as they stay still. Yes, unfortunately, unless we attacked them or they snuck up on us, we wouldn't be able to tell them from the regular thing.
Say no more. um, well, guess there's something to do but take a look. Is there any reaction?
Alright.
Be going there.
Alright, you approach closer.
I think Hawks should probably also approach with Skinnock, knowing that Hawks is kind of the big guy who takes hits for other people at this point.
Oh, remember, if Skinnock is hit, you can use Emboldening Bond to switch places and take the hit for him.
That is true.
And save your Cloud Rune for something different.
I meant more that if I was also there, it would be like,
Right,
Only one of
likely
them
to
has
attack
the
you as well.
face.
yeah.
All right.
I just like to remind people of that option because I don't think it's been used except for maybe
Yeah.
once.
Yep. There's a lot of reaction stuff we've got.
I know.
You have quite a lot between all of you.
We are stacked, surprisingly stacked. With
And the most likely person to use that reaction specifically has the most reactions, so...
Alright.
Yeah.
As you get within 5 feet of the gargoyles, nothing happens.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, kind of was hoping that there would be some magical defense.
What kind of interior decoration bullshit is this?
Hey, Professor, what's the Netherese word for password?
Well, that can get quite complicated, as many different mages. They're all very secretive and
No,
competitive.
just the word for password.
Word for password? Passion.
Anything change with the gargoyles?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, I guess.
What if Fox reaches out and pokes this one in front of him? He'll pet his head like he's a cat or something. Why, hello there.
General Kenobi. I can't. I genuinely cannot help myself. It's a reflex.
Who is this General Kenobi? Is he a historical figure?
Nah, he's just some guy from my neighborhood.
The old hobo Ben.
Yeah. Here, hello.
Benko of Nobi. In any case, you reach out and touch the statue on the head. Roll perception checks.
It's a mimic. What an awful way to...
What
I know mimic is a gargoyle.
What do my bold eyes? That would be genuinely just brutal.
It'd be so clever because they're all ready for gargoyles and then suddenly they're being attacked by a mimic. I'd do
what
it.
are those,
I wish I hadn't said that out loud because then I'd...
No, what was it? The when you guys were afraid of a chest being a mimic, but the mimic was actually an object inside the chest.
Yeah, that was dumb. Because there was no way to tell. and we opened it, and then we were attacked, and it was like we did everything we needed to check for something being a mimic, and it's like, okay, we still got. That's not fair.
Sometimes it's just mimic time.
So you pat it on the head, Hawks. You don't see a reaction.
Wait,
You know what?
did these
What?
gargoyles look familiar?
They don't. They don't. It doesn't. The one that you encountered before, you believe his
Okay.
name was Gurgle. Like he had these ones have a very particular design to them that does not match that particular gargoyle. That
Okay.
gargoyle that you had interrogated was like kind of almost like a little bit kind of burly, like a little bit of an extended, distended stomach to them, and a very large, unhinged kind of lower jaw. These ones look fairly human-like. In fact, I would actually say they look more like devils, almost. They still have like the curved horns, like the wings in the back, kind of like long curled tails with the barbed end. The other individual looked more cartoonish in a way. Definitely not the same.
Okay. Because I was for a second was thinking, wait, is this some clever ploy to spy on us? But no, it does not seem like it is.
All right. Well, if touching them isn't going to do it, let's see if stepping through this door does.
Hey, what you doing?
What? Oh god!
Whoa! What just
The timeline they split.
You fools! You messed with the natural order! You suddenly see the gargoyles begin moving, and one looks towards you and says, "Hey, you can't go in there.
Why can't he go in there?
He's not allowed."
But I got a delivery. Someone's got to sign for this, man.
Make a deception check.
The Kobold delivery service strikes again.
They start kind of moving in towards this way. It kind of flaps its wings, kind of flaps over.
We need like a uniform for us so that we look like we're just like
16.
deliveries or workers or something. Make
Oh.
the deception advantage.
Oh man, no, it's been a while since we had a delivery. I mean, usually we just see the crazies kind of around. We kind of like have to shove them away. Sure. What's the package?
Oh.
It was pain.
Well, the package is not really sure why someone ordered a polar bear mantle, but barely did.
I mean, it is cold here.
Oh man.
Also very stylish.
It is.
Well, the master is kind of a persnickety little bitch. So yeah, okay.
Is he in?
No, he's not been around for like thousands of years, but he's probably fine.
Yeah.
Who's counting
Is-
anyway?
You've been counting, haven't you?
No.
Insight
that's-
check.
Sure, go ahead and roll inside checks.
Mostly out of curiosity. Click and insight. Because I don't roll insight enough. 28.
You're just so trusting. Yeah,
Hi.
there's a little bit of offense immediately. Like, you get the feeling you've hit a sore spot. They've probably been counting.
Are you lonely?
I mean, I've got my buddy here, and he just kind of, like, pats towards the other gargoyle. Hey.
Well, you guys ever take shifts? Where,
No.
like, one of you goes off and does something?
Nah.
Well, there's this dryad just around the corner that seems to be pretty lonely. If you wanted to, you could just like one of you go off, hang out with her for a little bit, have a little bit of a different conversational buddy.
Oh, man, that'd be great. But we're not allowed to leave our posts, and if we do, terrible torment will befall us, and we'll be sent back to the elemental plane of Earth in tatters, in shatters. All, very much don't want that to happen, so let's just go ahead and get that package, okay?
Is there any way out of that? I mean, like,
I mean...
is there like a clause that says if the person who put you here is dead or something like that?
I mean, unless you have a way to dispel the arcane armaments and enchantments that involve the binding of the planar binding of one's elemental essence to the material plane, I think we're kind of out of luck.
Right. So just dispel magic?
Yeah, some wizard shit.
Right. I don't have that right now, but I mean, I could come back with it later.
Oh, you know what? That'd be great. You got that package though?
Oh, right. Skadak?
Yeah, yeah, but I was supposed to get the guy here to sign for it. Is there any chance he came back up through one of the upper windows and just didn't tell you?
See, I mean, we can take the package off your hands if you like, because he's not in right now. We said the prospective little Funyun that is our master. Yeah, this guy. I mean, we don't like him all that much, but per planar bindings and orders, just give it to us. We'll sign for it. It's okay.
Fair enough.
Hang on.
Oh.
It's good luck. Can I talk to these guys?
Oh, yeah, if you want.
Oh, hey, are you the delivery assistant? Oh my gosh, you are just the most adorable little thing. Even more adorable than the delivery guy.
Hey,
Hey.
let me get this straight right here.
Yeah?
He's my assistant. I'm training him right now. We cannot leave this package here, this very important package, without the proper signature from your boss, who obviously ordered this thing to be delivered here. So either you let us in to have him sign it, or we can't leave you alone.
Oh, it's so irritating. Go ahead and roll deception
I
with
know, but
advantage.
rules are rules, man. We just gotta do what we gotta do, you know? Like, you got this whole guard duty thing. We've got our whole delivery thing.
Paid extra for the rush delivery as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Extra fees? Oh, man, he's not going to like that. No, not one bit, man.
He's the one who purchased the rush delivery.
I know. You think he'd show up after thousands and thousands and years, but no. You know what? Make a deception check with advantage. We'll see how this turns out.
Just doing it.
And, scales, because he's the one talking right now.
Yep.
22. Well, orders are orders, but he would be mad at us if we let him accumulate some fees. And I believe minor inconveniences and other such miscreances were listed in our orders. So why don't you come right on in?
We appreciate the hospitality and the cooperation, and for that, we'll waive the tip fee as well.
Oh, that is so nice of you. Are they so nice? Yeah, that's really nice of you, man. We appreciate it.
But
While
that
they're
lady
getting
over there, that lady over there, you might want to keep an eye on her. She's not a part of our delivery.
Just kind of a contractor, you know?
Villain just kind of raises her arms like, what the fuck? She's just like, hey.
Yeah, you gotta keep your eyes out. You gotta watch her, make sure she doesn't.
Hey, don't be rude. She's part of us. He's joking. Don't listen to him.
So wait, which is it then? Yeah.
She's part of us.
She's not part of the delivery. She's part of us, but not part of the delivery.
Oh, she's the
not
driver. Got it.
She's not
Right.
welcome in, so you need to watch her and make sure she doesn't come in.
Got it. All right, on it.
All right, let's go.
Hey, rules are rules. Sorry, we can't let you pass. What is I? But she holds her tongue.
I'll go
Beth
back.
will quietly,
Okay.
offer a high five to Scales.
I can't control them sometimes. I tried to help. Anyway, So, you guys said you'd been here for some time. Anything interesting happened while you were waiting? I mean, I know you guys were just sitting here watching most of the time, but any significant changes, interesting happenings,
Oh,
gossip?
they started kind of going into a little bit, which does leave the two of you some time to investigate. Now, this is one of those periods where you did roll low, but if you take an extended amount of time, say 30 minutes or so, to just go through everything here, and as long as um, these people up here keep them distracted, which is actually not that difficult as it seems, uh, you will definitely find some stuff in this place. So let me go ahead and see what you find. Because there actually is a table for this. Okay.
Is Hawks going through things too?
Yeah, what's Hawks doing?
That's a good question. I didn't really feel like there was much reason for him to intervene there. But now that he's in here, he
You
has
can
a
reach
very...
the top shelf.
I was gonna say he has two very special abilities. One, he can reach the top shelf. Two, I know a lot of this stuff is probably written in ancient Netherese,
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes.
but Hawks just so happens to be able to.
Oh,
If I can actually find that.
we forgot to give them the
yes, you have Eyes of the Runekeeper.
the contract ball. Let me see the contract ball.
What?
The contract. I'm talking to villain.
Mm.
asking
Yes.
for
Yes. The contract ball. Yes, she hands over Professor Scant.
I'm gonna run in, hand it to Skinnock, and run back out. All right. Sorry, what you were saying?
Oh yes, no. They don't really tell you anything great per se. They've basically been guarding here for. They basically tell you about the same information that you would have gotten from Hathaway.
Just walking around and knowing what we already knew.
Yeah, which basically what you already know. There was a great explosion in the city, and since that happened, since the city fell, there were some survivors that did manage to survive the crash, but something happened to transform them into the Nothics that you had seen before, and there are more of them. There are probably not quite hundreds, but like a good sizable amount of them, dozens even. Okay, in that case. First, before I get to you, Hawks, let me get to what Scales and Skinnock find. So, the two of you, as you're searching around, you find some odd papers or so. Seems important at first, but you kind of just toss it to the side. You do find a couple of ancient texts and tomes that look like they could be sold for a very sizable sum.
Well, I have 2 bags of holding and no scruples whatsoever. So
Shoveling things in.
let me get my actual shovel.
Yeah. Other than that,
Okay.
maybe there's a couple books that maybe seem interesting, but you can't really read them. Which leads us to you, Hawks.
Yes. Also, I think Scales does have comprehend languages on, right? Or no, that's spoken language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's spoken and written languages. Figure
Okay.
having 2 people who can read languages would be a lot faster and efficient than just one person.
Indeed. In that case, let me do this. Okay. You're kind of like looking around these tomes. I'll get to you first, Hawks, because you're kind of like looking through here. You reach a book using your newfound ability to reach the top shelf, as you spy a particular book that seems quite interesting. You had a sneaking suspicion when you had touched the gargoyles of something nefarious that might have happened. But as you read through this tome, you learn a disturbing fact. You learn that the city's creators use giant mimics as construction tools and beasts of burdens throughout the city. And with that knowledge in mind, you suddenly come to the realization that you might find some of them if you continue onward eventually.
So, fun stuff here. Giant mimics. How does it say how big they get?
Around the size of a large cow.
Okay, so don't touch any large cows.
I try not to anyway, honestly.
Don't touch anything large cow sized either. Don't touch those couches.
You learn that they can impersonate
Hey,
not only
couches.
objects, but walls as well. Ceilings, floors.
Don't touch any floors. Oh man,
Skunk
this
is
is getting...
immediately pointing his arcane firearm at the ceiling.
You see several tentacles leaning down. No. No. By comparison, Scales, as you look back at that piece of paper that you had tossed aside from when thinking it was maybe important, but you were unreadable, but then you think to yourself, wait, you cast comprehend languages. And it appears to be an invitation of some kind, or a poster, for specifically the Ythryn Orchestra. And from what it says that the members of Ythryn's orchestra are known across the world of Toril as masters of their art. And their theater is somewhere in the city, and it gives you directions. Which, if I... Let me look here. Through here. And I will mark that. When you get back to the map, I will mark that. But that is the information that you find. Meanwhile, on the outside, so yeah, I mean that was how Theosius, our master's name is Theophilus. He's a decent enough guy, but he's I mentioned before he's a persnickety little munchkin. Always trying to get in everybody's, trying to get a piece of the pie in every situation. And it gets a bit tiring, but we have to grin and bear it because we're not quite familiars. We're bound to his service for all eternity until the time that the magic on us wears out. But until that time, we're kind of just rambling.
Do you know why he said all eternity? That seems like a long time, and I mean,
he was exaggerating, but basically, as long as the magic sticks, we're stuck as well. So, that them's the breaks, but, it's how it is. We've come to terms with it. Occasionally we play poker, sometimes charades, sometimes hide and seek. It's actually quite complicated because there are other gargoyles that look like us as well, and they're just statues. So sometimes it takes us weeks to find each other.
Oh yeah, I can see how that would happen. Yeah. Let me see if I have something. I might have something that could help keep you entertained. Let me see if I have anything. Kind of like start pulling things out of my bag. I'm looking for if I have like a deck of cards or anything like that.
Do you?
I'm looking. I will let you know.
Gotcha.
You can go on to whoever else, but
sure. I will say at this point, Skinnock, Scales, and Hawks, you believe you've combed through all the rest of the information that you find. It seems to be just random information that doesn't seem to really pertain to anything. Just seems to be gibberish.
Hawks will go and grab this book about the giant mimics and walk over to these couches and then double check the couch with poking it with his he'll grab his shield and use the edge of his shield to poke at the couch.
Alright, you kind of poke it. Collapses under its own weight.
Okay, that one wasn't a mimic. Let's try this other one here.
Hey, what's going on in there?
it's dusty in here.
There's a lot of dust, and we're looking for a good place to leave the package that it won't get covered in dust. And we found more dust. So
you're making a lot of noise. Are you sure everything's okay?
Yeah.
yeah, just there's so much dust that we've got to find a good spot where. This is a really high quality item. We can't just leave it in a pile of dust.
Roll deception, please. Just all of you.
That's not one of the things I have advantage on, unfortunately.
Deception.
And bowling
I'm
bonk.
definitely gonna add that D4. Yeah,
Yep.
just really, really dusty.
So 13.
Hacking on fake dust, which might actually be real dust. Actually,
Interesting. Okay, keep up the good work. And they go back to the conversation that rolled really low.
by the way, Scales and Skinnock and Hawks, you guys got any like gaming sets you guys aren't using?
I don't.
All right.
Let me check.
I have a pair of dice, but they're my special dice.
I understand. I'm not going to take something you need, or I'm just checking for stuff that might part with.
Well,
I mean, you know what? You guys have worked hard enough. I mean, you don't have to go all the way out using your effort for us. You know what? Just go ahead, finish up your work and just go ahead and leave out. We'll be okay. We've entertained ourselves for a long time. I think we'll be okay.
well, we can't quite leave this, but I guess we might have to just come back at some point.
Are you actually leaving anything behind, or is that?
Well, no, we haven't gotten the signature for it.
That's true. You haven't.
I pried this mantle from oh god, what was her name? From that druid's cold dead hands.
Yes, that's right. Ravison, yeah. Oh wait, that's right. You know what? Are you sure we can't sign for it? I mean,
Sir, I am positive you cannot sign for this. That would be identity theft.
right.
And
Identity theft is serious business. That's true.
Right.
you'll be
Policy. Well, we'll come back when we get word of the policy is if he wants it, he has to send us like word that he wants it delivered again, and otherwise it's just going to stay in our storage unit for some time, and then after that it's going to get released back into circulation and somebody else can buy it. So
Irritating.
if you hear from him, just let him know we tried delivering it, and he's got to contact us if he wants it delivered again.
All right. They kind of just kind of flap their wings and just kind of get out of your way. Well, you know what? When we see him, we'll be sure to let him know and send him your way. All right.
Sounds good to me.
very good.
All right, you skedaddle along now. Have a good day or night. We can't tell time down here.
What do you mean?
Except by counting every single second of every single day of every single hour, every month, and then the year.
I wondered that. You still have 40 left.
I'd let them know like what day it is. It's like a Wednesday right now, so
Oh my god, I was 20 months off. Can you believe it?
that's pretty close. I would have been much further off. I think I lost track.
So he and Steven probably went.
Oh god, I feel so embarrassed. Well, you all have a good day now. Or not. Whichever.
I think it's getting into evening.
Oh, there I was, about wrong again. Could be morning for all we know. Let's just start waving.
So
Yep.
we just back away slowly.
Put the mimic book back on the shelf and skedoodle out.
All right, bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
All right. As we're walking away, I'm gonna ask Hawks what he was talking about, because he said something and I could like kind of hear it, but I was trying to be polite and listen to the gargoyles.
Okay, so apparently the ancient city, they used mimics, not just your average mimic, but some pretty big ones. As, I guess, pack mules and construction equipment to help assemble the whole thing.
Huh.
And they're pretty dang big. And we've got to be careful because they can imitate walls and floors and ceilings as well.
Well, that's dangerous. How'd they keep them from eating them?
I mean, I'm sure they had their methods, considering all the other weirdness we've seen with the city.
Right.
Although that's a good question. Maybe we can get mimics of our own.
Oh,
That would
mimic.
be a very valuable tool if we could somehow command them, but it'd be difficult unless we knew how.
imagine if our sled boat thing was also a mimic. At that point, it's basically a transformer.
Seriously. But for reference, I'd say you guys are right about here, and the instructions, or the directions that were on that poster scales, given where you were spatially, you imagine it's somewhere around this direction over here, and I've marked it.
Hey, Professor, when we were standing on that ledge just above the city and could look down on it, were you able to, like, make, like, a map of it?
Well, I mean, I can give you basic directions. There were some notable points of interest. Notably, I'm sure even you managed to see that what looked like an arboretum of some kind. That how to describe? Very autumnal looking set of trees.
Right, off to the left.
Indeed, I'm also noticing what appears to be several towers that have arcane sigils on them, namely over there and over here. There's a couple more, but I didn't quite see them. I believe I saw symbols for abjuration and conjuration. So each individual tower that I'm seeing has something to do with a specific school of magic.
Huh.
I also noticed a stadium of some kind over here. Not quite sure what that's about, but it was interesting. I also
That's
noticed...
nearby. Do we want to stop there before our long rest?
The ancient wizard sport of nerdball.
Nerd ball.
Maybe we could revive it.
Okay, but only if the bludgers can explode. I always thought that would make it more fun.
What is a bludger?
What, you never played nerd ball before?
No, I cannot play any physical sport of any kind. I don't have hands or legs. I wasn't too partial to nerdball myself. Velen just gives a wink and a bit of a chuckle.
Well, someone's got to keep the sport alive.
Out of character. The professor might have been the nerd ball.
Oh no!
Oh boy, chaps, what are you playing today? Haha, roughhousing me again, I see. Haha, you all are such fun. Doesn't even realize what's happening.
Let's hope nerdball isn't one of those sports that involves like bats.
He doesn't seem very beat up, so it's probably not.
Oh, Ron with she just tossed Professor Skin up in the air. 4 clang, shoo.
Oh god! Using that giant metal sledgehammer.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh dear. Okay.
Insert the Smash Brothers home run bat sound effect here.
King. In any case, which direction?
Man, I wish I could make maps. Then we could come out of here with a map of this city, and it'd be pretty useful to future study, I think.
That would certainly be very useful. Perhaps we can at least
Also-
mark which directions we come and go as we're traversing.
Right. Anybody good at that kind of thing?
I'm good at making stuff.
Right. The artsy fartsy stuff kind of gets left on the wayside a lot of times when you're an adventurer.
So, which direction are you guys going towards?
Well,
We want
were
to check
talking
out.
about- What?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, we were talking about doing a little bit of exploring and then doing a long rest. Do you want to do one more or do it now?
I was suggesting we go to the nearby stadium, which is just next to where we
This thing?
came in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm legitimately curious about the nerdball court now.
All right.
I think we should check that out and then get back to our place. Take some time to rest up and then go maybe to the trees or off to one of them towers. We'll discuss that tomorrow.
Fair enough.
Okay, so you guys begin to make the trek towards the Nerdball Stadium. And as you get about right here, Hawks, you grow
Yes.
another foot.
Now he has 3 feet.
No, in height.
Sorry. I just
Ox
thought
is
it.
now nearly 7 feet tall.
Is it like a sudden growth or has it been happening?
It's a sudden growth. Like suddenly, it's like someone just pulled him up and just stretched him like a Stretch Armstrong
Is he like
doll.
a dangly tall or is he tall and wide still?
No, I say that, but like he stretches like almost like thinly at first, but then he fills out proportionally. So he is proportionally still the same Hawks, just bigger.
Just a tall version.
Bigger in all dimensions and taller. So, there's not the only thing that might happen. One moment.
I wonder if Kobold Press is going to come out with a Kobold Giant.
I mean, I'm already on the path of being...
I know.
I think I've already surpassed the Swoldbald.
Yes.
Yeah, you really have.
King Kobold.
Seriously.
Somewhere in between Booster and K-Rule.
Don't mind me, I just need to make some rolls here. Some more rolls.
I said his name that way so that we could avoid any copyright claims from one.
I don't think just
Stu
mentioning
happens
it is going to be
I
a
know.
problem.
I know.
I appreciate the candor though.
I'm doing it out of a tongue-in-cheek.
At the same time, though, do you really want to find out?
No,
You
I
know
don't.
what? I don't. Well, here's the thing. I appreciate that because Nintendo is sort of copyright happy recently.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's not as bad of a precaution as I like to make it out.
Right.
But there are two things I need to find, and I'm not finding them. There they
We're not
are.
making money off of this anyway, so.
It's true. It's just fun. it's fun and for archival purposes.
Yes. And so that we can come back to it, and that people who just want to hear our tale can hear it
Yeah,
and spread it among their friends.
indeed.
Spread it among us.
That's kind of sus, you know.
Dun, dun.
Stop. You know what?
I can't help myself sometimes. I'm sorry.
No,
The
don't be
memes-
sorry.
The memes are a disease that forces its way through.
Meme.
To the
You
stadium.
could say the meme. No, never mind. No, I'm not even gonna finish that thought. I'm not even gonna finish it. You know what I will finish though? All of you. No.
Evan just adds 5 to the 15 to the random encounter table.
You joke, but I was seriously, for a brief moment, heavily considering it. But as I will say, you will definitely notice, as you're walking along, heading towards the stadium, you begin to get a better sense of the destruction of the city around you. You see trees that have been uprooted and scattered about. You see pillars cracked and strewn, almost blocking the way several roads over, and you have to sort of find detours around them. But occasionally, there are areas where there do seem to be some semblance of structure remaining. And there's one particular structure that you see that does seem to be it does seem to be like more intact than some of the nearby structures that you saw. In addition, you see like a faint sort of silvery glow emanating from the inside. And I mentioned before that there was a sort of green purple glow that sort of lights the streets, almost like a some sort of incantation or spell that lights the streets almost like lamplight. This seems to be nearly sourceless, but from the inside of the building rather than outside. And at this point, you're about, I'd say, 60 or so feet away from it.
By this time, definitely Emboldening Bond is up, so I would have to do it again if we want it, so I'm going to wait off on that.
I feel like at this point, Hawks' cannon is probably gone as well.
Oh, my shoulder, buddy.
Yeah. You're the brave lad.
You see Villain kind of like look at it. Interesting. Before we head to the stadium, do you mind if we take a closer look?
See, she's doing the thing.
Doing
That's
what?
why we're going. We're staying
Man.
close to the place where we're going to sleep. For that reason.
Come on, look, it's an impressive structure. I mean,
Yeah, we're
Is
going
it-
in. We're going in.
Is it a distant thing? Or is it just like right here?
it's about 60 or so feet away.
Oh, well, that's random. If it's obviously magical and enchanted, Skunk is interested.
Yeah, there does seem to be a sort of ethereal, kind of whitish glow, whitish silvery glow coming from the inside. And let me go ahead and put you on a map.
Before we go in, we should just definitely check to see if it's got like any like security measures on it. If it's gonna have magic in there, it might have magical protection.
I don't like how that looks like.
By whatever do you mean, Caleb?
I mean, it looks like a coffin.
It does. It is a bit ominously coffin shaped, isn't it?
It is a bit sus.
What's wrong with coffin shapes? Coffins are a stark reminder of one's own mortality, but they can also serve as a peaceful reminder of what happens, to remind one of one's loved ones when they die.
That is
Well-
the most necromancery thing I've ever heard you say.
I mean,
She
It
did
makes sense
mention
because you are a
peace, though,
necromancer.
She did mention peace though, so at least she's thinking along the right lines.
Look, I'm trying, alright? Give me some
That's
credit.
the most haunted shit to ever come out of your mouth, and I've seen you possessed by a literal ghost.
She kind of like pauses for a moment, kind of like nods, shrugs.
Was that the first time you were ever haunted by a ghost?
Surprisingly, yes. Although it's
Wow.
come close on one occasion on a very erratic summoning and animating of a specific corpse, but I won't get too much into that. I'm more interested in what's on the inside of here.
Check for traps.
Check for mimics.
Oh yeah, check for them too.
Everything's a mimic. The door's a mimic. The
Buildings of
tombstone's
the
a
oh,
mimic.
shit.
Roll perception checks and investigation
Are
checks.
you a mimicox?
I might be. No,
know
we're
what?
in a cave, so I'm real. Okay, never
Okay.
mind.
That's good.
I'm gonna
It's a really
suggest
big
that we
cave,
take the
though.
moment for me to cast this as a ritual
I'm okay with that.
On the way over, maybe, or, Is it 10 minutes or 1 minute for rituals normally?
10
10
minutes for ritual.
minutes. It's adding 10 minutes to the casting time.
To be fair, there does seem to be like a set of like wooden doors that are surprisingly intact. It does. Villain kind of like looks towards them, but like doesn't do anything first. She kind of like waits for you. So there's a bit of time of waiting.
Okay, well, let's take a minute to get ourselves together, get that magic detection up. No one's coming out. We're not going in. So, we've got a breather here. If there's anything I can do to help with the ritual, if you need me to chant some mumbo jumbo or something.
The only sound that you're greeted with is the chanting and current magic from Skinnock as he continues his ritual. Which will pass. 10 minutes come and go. You get an immediate hit of some abjuration magic on the door.
Okay, so there's something up there. Abjuration would be shielding magic, right?
Yes, definitely protective magic.
I bet it's the lock spell, the arcane lock.
I mean, it could be like a trap.
Conjure mimic. Wait, that wouldn't be the right.
Yes, that's
Well.
conjuration, not abjuration, Ox. Villain says.
What if it's like keeping a mimic in like a bottle?
Or it could be
Nice dimensional
containing
bottle.
the mimic that is the door. Like it's a shield over the door. See? I'm thinking like a kobold.
Can we do that when we eventually build our awesome kobold fort?
That was a thing we
Yes.
were gonna do?
I mean, that's my plan.
I never heard about that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we can have a church to Eldath in it and everything.
Well, I was probably planning on being a kind of itinerant throughout the 10 towns. But it'd be nice to have a place to kind of kick back and rest every once in a while.
He doesn't
Can
need to be a permanent residence, but we can always set up a little shrine for you when you're there if you want.
Hang our Beatrice's skull over the front door.
Yeah.
We should probably work on that first before we actually work on the
Yep.
whole hanging our skull, getting our Beatrice and all that.
Yep. Okay, so how would we go about dispelling this bit of abjuration magic?
Are there any other like ways in? Any
That's a
like
good point,
windows up
actually.
above or?
You take a quick kind of glance around the outside of this coffin-shaped structure. There doesn't appear to be any immediate entryways, although you do notice that there are some hairline kind of cracks and fractures in the kind of surrounding structure of the building underneath. That is the only thing that you notice. Other than that, there doesn't appear to be any windows or any sort of entry inside other than the front door.
I could potentially break in there. I've got this adamantine axe, after all. And I can be very big.
Indeed,
That
you
makes
can.
sense, yeah.
Villain will step out of the way.
I guess I'll be back here waiting for healing in case it does have like a trap on it.
Yes, Hawks will activate a giant's might and look for the best crack to potentially split with his axe.
Alrighty.
Did that not post? Did that not post giant might? There we go.
And I believe adamantine weapons deal max damage to objects, or is it critical hits on objects?
It's
I think they get extra critical.
it's they deal double damage.
That's what it is.
So it basically the objects have vulnerability to damage dealt by adamantine weapons.
Correct. Alright, so in that case, Hawks, you can go ahead and make either an attack roll or an athletics check of your choice.
The attack will have advantage.
It will, because it is a door. And you were very big.
Can you remind me how tall this building is?
I don't believe I mentioned, actually. I'd say it's not a very tall building, per se. I would say it's around maybe 15 or so feet high, like near where the doors are. And then it sort of kind of curves. It does actually have a curve, kind of like a coffin, actually, to kind of like fully commit to the theme. Um, Other than that, it's not a very tall building. There is no secondary floor that you can tell, especially not because there are any windows. You think it may just be one singular floor. 15 feet tall at the highest. 11 points.
See.
All right. As you kind of like hold the axe in your hand, you give it a twirl or two as you lean down and you use the centrifugal force of the axe in a large arc to, and it almost cuts through the door like butter in two, right down the center, revealing the inside. I will go ahead and reveal that to you.
See, I got it open. Very good at opening doors, you know.
I like that we have so many different ways of going about that. This is a real versatile group.
So the first thing that hits you is the smell.
Yeah.
Thousands of buildup of dust, mildew, and other alchemical smells erupt and reverberate your nostrils, almost assaulting them with the odor. As the dust kind of settles from the debris of breaking down the door, you are met with several curious somethings, in fact. You notice human-like individuals, but they have bluish tinged skin, and they all appear to have an identical look to them. Almost like as if they were twins, but each and every single one of them's face looks the same. The only thing that is different is that these three right here have a long set of ceremonial robes that are blue and have like gold white strips along the shoulders, while these individuals here have what appears to be a very ornate looking sort of chainmail to them.
Yeah, I think we found the Blue Man group.
So what's that?
It's a bunch
Yeah,
of blue
yes.
guys.
Yeah? I guess we did then.
It's a group of blue men. There they are.
Immediately as you start speaking, you suddenly see they appear to be standing still, leaning up against different objects, or just standing still in the center of the room, unmoving, unreactive. But as soon as you start speaking, they suddenly spring to life. And they all start speaking at once in that strange language. Villain says, "Ah, we are intruders, and now they must subdue us. At the ready."
Well, that's rude. I guess we are kind of intruding.
No. You see, this is old enough that it's technically speaking archaeology.
Alright. I don't know about this stuff, so...
So I would like everyone to roll initiative for me.
Oh, man. Initiative.
I really need to finalize my ultimate infiltration device.
Hmm.
Okie dokie.
And these guys were just standing in place until we started talking.
Indeed. Indeed they do.
I guess they'd be too far for me to tell if they were magical or not.
Well, actually, I had a +2 to their dex, so actually that'd be a 4 to initiative, but not that that matters. But yes, they did in fact start speaking in a very monotone sort of voice. No emotion or feeling to it. But that is of no consequence at the moment. Right now, it is time. Duel! Skinnock, you are first up in the turn order.
Ow. Wow.
I will say, because you're looking in, I want you to get like a good view of your surroundings, because I didn't get to describe it too much before they activated. You'll see to the kind of like this side of the room, there are various different alchemical apparatus that have spilled out over the ground. Very large, kind of like alembic over here that's made from this very thick purple glass. It takes up a good chunk of the room over here. A cage of some kind has a corpse inside of it. A strange sort of circle that appears to have like a mold shape to it, like a like something that you would pour something into and like make it like a mold of something that looks human shaped. And then a broken totem over here, along with some tables, and then a force field that is sheltering what appears to be a desk of some kind. That is what you see as you look in.
Well. I think I'm going to start off by making a cannon.
Did my initiative not get put on? Oh, I didn't click my character token.
Yeah, I don't think it did. Let me put yours on. Let me get villains in here as well.
I have once again failed us all.
Oh, don't be like that. It's okay.
It's okay. I'll make up for it. Hopefully.
You'll make up for it by being a peace cleric and being amazing at what you do.
That's the hope.
Alright, so you bring out your cannon.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would like to avoid shattering this giant thing of potion, whatever this is, because, that could be interesting. Yeah, so I'm going to target this guy so we don't end up using AoE on him. With the cannon. What?
This boy right here?
Yes.
Point of order, is Hawks big?
Hawks is big. Because he ambigified to break down the door.
Embiggen.
Back here then. Okay. Oh, if he's gonna go that way. Yep, go there, do that, and then fire the cannon.
Fire the cannon.
Zap.
26. That'll definitely hit it.
Dealing 17 force damage.
Ooh, ouchie. You watch as it impacts squarely in the chest, and it pushes him right back here. And you can see the individual braces itself, and kind of you watch as its boots sparks fly as it slides backward as it braces itself, and it steals itself. No emotion, it just readies itself. No verbal cue either from being hit. But it did damage, you can tell. And you watch as it did so, you watched as a trickle of this white, silvery substance trickles out of its nose.
Interesting. Concerning. But interesting.
Alright, is that your turn, Skinnock?
You know what? Yeah.
Okay. Scales, it is your turn now.
Okay, so first,
All good, no worries.
first line of question is: could I upcasting spells that don't have at higher levels damage or effects? Can I use a higher level spell slot to cast a lower level spell?
Yeah, that's always been a thing.
Okay, just want to make sure because I've never been able to find that in writing. It's just
Yeah.
kind of always been like an unwritten rule.
I feel like I know I've read that somewhere. I just can't remember.
Yeah, same. I think
I'll
it's
look
in
for
the
it.
Oh yeah, I think I know where it is. I'll look it up real
I'm
quick.
pretty sure it's in the player's handbook. Like, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and do that.
Okay, so for my turn, I'm going to hold my action until an ally gets within range of the enemies.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're holding your action. Okay, good to know. Hold your action until they get within the enemies. Okay. So in that case, it is Meepo's turn.
I'm gonna do the good old faithful and start with Sanctuary, but from my Devotee of Eldeath, so I can preserve first level spell slots. And then I'm going to do Emboldening Bond as my action. So we have Emboldening Bond on everybody. I gotta move forward first, but yeah. Emboldening Bond on everybody, and then Sanctuary on myself.
Okay, so that's your action and your bonus action. Your movement?
And I will mark those down as having used one more of them each.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
that's my turn.
Okay, so you're staying where you were. Got it.
Oh, well, I moved forward a bit, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. So you're standing right there. Right here. Alright? That means it's Valin's turn. Valin is going to pop in. He's gonna kind of peek around the massive form that is Hawks. And she is going to cast... There's a lot of different things she could cast. For now, she's going to simply conserve resources, so she is going to cast Chill Touch on the guy that you just hurt, Hawks. A 13. As the skeletal hand tries to grasp onto this creature, you watch as it kind of like flicks its eyes in its direction, and the spell just kind of dissipates. Almost as if it's slightly resistant to the magic in some way, because it barely even registered it. Oh dear. They're a bit resistant to magic.
We will use the old ways. That being more fire.
So then we'll come over here. Hawks, it's now your turn.
Okay, well. Hawks will step through the door. And get up to here, because that's all of his movement he can really do. And he will grab a hand axe and yeet it at this guy.
Alrighty.
Theoretically, I could throw 2. Which I think I will do. I shall throw 2. Yeet.
Okay, that'll definitely hit. And that
Roll
will hit as well.
minimum damage on both of them, and then I have a d8 to one of them. So, you know.
Okay. Both of those hand axes will kind of like embed themselves into the steel cage behind this creature. And both times it slashes both along each of its shoulders. And you watch as that more of that silvery white substance kind of oozes out almost like blood and like a weird kind of sap. And as it splats the ground, it dissipates. Very much almost like mercury in a way. But no reaction, no emotional change. It was hurt, and it didn't seem to resist the damage, but it has not registered the pain. Is that your turn?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. It's now the enemy's turns. They're going to step forward around the broken glass and around this place right here, this acid pile right here. Let me see here. Double check here. Okay. Let me double check distance. Boo, boo, boo. Okay. Alright. I need Scales, Hawks, and Skanuk to make wisdom saving throws for me. As you watch, as suddenly these individuals, their eyes turn a bright purple color. And suddenly a lash of psychic energy, well, shoo, shoo, almost like a whip, shoot out of their skulls, almost like an ethereal spectral force, and just lash at each of you.
You know what? I'm worried that this might be like a mind control thing. I'm going to use Flash of Genius for Scales.
Do I have to make a wisdom save too, or am I out of sight?
No, you gather that you are not either in range for this effect, or you are not in visual radius. Alright, that is +5. Okay. You watch as the whip kind of connects with your minds. You almost feel like your mind turns into mush and just ignites in a fire. But you kind of shake it off, and you don't take any residual damage. You are fine. But they will back up slightly.
So the 12 passed the DC?
Double check. Yes, it did.
Okay.
Just barely. So with that is their turn. Now it is these individuals' turns. They're going to charge forward, meaning your held action goes off Scales.
Yeah.
So what do you cast?
So I have advantage on those two, and because I'll teleport to where they are, I'll also be within range of at least one of the others up top, so I can hit basically all 5 of them with this.
Indeed. Mighty Bard, cast your rolls. I'm just always amazed by how much damage this shit does.
That'll be on the first guy to Hawks' left.
Oh yeah, he's super dead. What's interesting though, is as you slice into him, you slice him clean in half, right around the midsection. And as the blade, the steel wind blade, slashes right through, you watch as his entire body begins to combust into itself, into fire of smoke, leaving behind its armor and greatsword behind. It is gone.
Next guy to my right.
All right. $26 definitely hits. Still up.
Then this guy.
$21 definitely hits. He is also combusts into a pile of smoke and fire and leaving only robes behind. And then that guy. Alright, that will also hit. It will also leave him in a fiery, smoky demise. A 12 will miss, however. Actually, wait, no, wait. I lied. That will hit.
Okay.
The ones that aren't in armor have a lower AC, I'm assuming.
Indeed, they do. They have a much lower AC than I thought. I thought it was a 13, but it is in fact 12. I misread it.
I move this way.
Indeed, right, you do. You almost kind of like get rebuked slightly by the slight bit of the force field, but you kind of like land in that corner right there. Well, what a turn! Except that was your reaction, so this guy still gets to make his attacks. And interestingly, of course, still no emotion, even as his companions get decimated. Is a 15 and a 6, which I believe both will miss you, Hawks.
Yes, I have 21 AC.
Indeed, so
Quite.
you managed to bash him with your shield both times, rebuking all of his pathetic attempts to hit you. Skunk, it is your turn again.
How it is. Cannon. Actually, that would be a... Oh, no. I guess 14.
14?
And then... 14 to hit.
Yep. 14 will miss, actually.
Alright. Firebolt. 26.
That will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
23, actually, because I have Elemental Adept.
Indeed you do. And with that, the last of them turns into a burst of fiery smoke and vanishes, leaving only its armor and weapon behind. And with that,
Loot, you say?
combat comes to a close. Yes, there is in fact loot. They seem to have very fancy, but they have chainmail and great swords they carried with them. These individuals up here, the ones that were robed, only have the robes on them and nothing else.
So, Professor, any idea what these are?
I have absolutely no idea.
Fair enough.
And it's exciting. It's something new.
Can I recover my hand axes?
You may. They are embedded in a little bit into the steel cage, but you kind of yank them out.
1, 2. What about this, that is tape measure. What about this body that's in the cage? What kind of state is it in?
The body appears to be nothing more than rags. You think at one point there was a skeleton in here, but it's probably turned to dust at this point. And you gather much of the dust that you've probably seen here was probably at some point people. What's interesting, though, I will say, go ahead and make either a medicine check or investigation, your choice.
Medicine or investigation, you say?
Yeah, your choice. Each one could have a different answer for what I'm about to say. 19, okay. What's interesting to you, Hawks, is that the body, perhaps at one point, was kept in pretty good condition. And you notice that there are anatomical markings and notches on like the bone structure. Someone kept very good markings of like the measurements and the sort of arrangements of like the bones and the general structure. Probably when this person was alive, you notice. And if it wasn't for the ravages of time, this body might have been very well kept. What you notice, Skanak, is that the body itself seems to be around the same general size torso-wise as that mold that you see on the opposite side of the room.
Interesting.
Were they trying to copy this person?
Pauline, you're the one that knows about this stuff. You and
Well, I appreciate your faith in me, but in general, we know very little about the magics of that time. Magics that have probably been lost to the centuries and millennia. This is magic that no one has seen in a long time. But they definitely didn't seem alive, but they weren't undead either.
Alright, that's kind of what I was worried about.
So some sort of...
But they were lifelike, at least, from what I could tell. But there was that mercurial-looking blood, which, as I'm looking at it, and she kind of steps in, looks a lot like what's in this case over here, as she looks towards the alembic. As you see, frothing inside is what looks like liquid mercury bubbling in this alembic.
So they were copying people, sort of.
It seems that
Into
way.
these blue guys.
Yes, from their general behavior, it looks like they were acting as guardians of some kind. For my guess, basic servants, perhaps? Basic guards? Perhaps? This is just a conjecture, mind you. But if you don't want to pay someone, what's better than making your own servants? I know, well, it kind of like awkwardly coughs into her sleeve. I mean, I'm no expert on the subject, but,
You don't have to lie. We already know.
right. When you can make zombies or skeletons, you don't necessarily need to pay your own workforce, you get what I'm saying.
Right. Just, sew them back together occasionally.
But this is more
Well, I mean-
advanced. This is more like, I'd almost say they were constructs, if I was just at a guess. But they were very lifelike.
That skeleton in there looks like it's pretty well preserved. Do you need any more?
It's mostly dust by now, but... No, I don't think I could actually use this one, unfortunately. It's far too gone.
Well, that's a shame.
Let's see.
What's this totem? I'm gonna check it out.
Sure, go ahead and roll a religion check.
Religion. That's what I was hoping I might get to use. I think I do have proficiency. Look at that. Oh, I forgot to click that little guy. Because I started combat with that, so it's still on.
25. 25. What's interesting to you is that this totem over here doesn't seem to kind of belong to the rest of this, whatever's going on in here. But you recognize from the markings as being a lizard folk goddess. I believe the name is Semanua, goddess of fertility, harvest, well, not harvest, but hunting, renewal, rebirth. Very out of place in this entire ensemble. Maybe as a trophy of some kind, as a decorative piece, but...
What about this? That looks like maybe a dragon or some sort of crocodile or something?
That looks to you like a lizard folk skull.
Okay. Well, maybe they were experimenting on lizard folk?
People...
Accidentally invented the kobold. That was entirely conjecture, by the way, and it's not what I think happened, but...
That would be
I
an
don't
interesting
think it came
theory
from
that
a
I don't
lizard.
think anyone would buy.
So, these, the construct people disappeared by now.
Correct.
But
Yeah, they are just smoke and flame that have just been... The smoke is by now wafted away.
before that, did they look the same?
Yes, they all looked identical to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, you take a person, you put them in this mold, and then you sort of pour the stuff in, and there's presumably some other parts of that process.
From what... No one kind of expects it. My theory is that they made the mold based off of the person, and then just made them look like him. Perhaps they found something about his shape appealing, or perhaps his body structure was the ideal shape. Who knows?
Maybe it was just
Well,
convenient.
Perhaps it was.
we could find out more if we could get into that little bubble there.
Indeed. It's vexing. Whatever, I would love to know what's behind this little veil.
Well, it seems to me like we desperately need to get the spell magic.
Quick question.
Yeah.
If I were to cast Liamon's tiny hut, like,
Crisscrossing
right
through the force
here
field.
on me, and if Liamon's tiny hut's area overlaps the force fields, what would happen? Does the force field cut through my tiny hut, or does my tiny hut cut through the force field?
It would be like a Venn diagram. They would both intersect each other, but you wouldn't be able to cross across the threshold.
I gotcha.
Well, we do have a bit of a time coming up tonight. We can always drop back by here later.
She just kind of like presses a hand against the force field, which just seems to be doesn't rebuke
It's
her
been
too
here
much.
for a long time. I don't think anything's gonna get through there.
I know, but it's so tantalizing.
See, she's doing the thing.
I'm
Right.
excited! Leave me alone! I have spent the better part of a year trying to find this place, and now I'm here and I am finding all sorts of things I never even thought possible.
Ooh, a force field. Ooh.
It's not the force field scales.
Hey, Skanuk, make a dexterity saving throw.
Me or the cannon?
Actually, the cannon.
That'd be a 6.
Boom! Like a dodgeball hitting directly square on. The force ballista bolt bounces right directly against the force field and bounces right back against your construct, and it takes the full damage.
7 force damage.
7 force. It takes 7 force damage.
That is more. It's more than a little bit BS that I roll so low when it's this situation. That's good shit.
But now you know what happens. Very well. Let's away, and we'll come back later. She just dejectedly walks away.
If we are able to get in there, can we see what's in there?
I will say you can at the very least. It's not an opaque force field. I will definitely say you can see what's inside. You see, now that you get a better look at it, there is in fact an almost mummified wizard's corpse that is underneath a turned over table and a bottle of wine that is spilled alongside them. They are wearing very, very intricate purple and tan robes. There appears to be several papers and desks that are overturned on this area right here, and a couple books right here.
Might I suggest you make sure you have your spell for waking things up ready?
I will say, there is one thing I can say. Some of those papers are not overturned. Hux, you are big enough that you could feasibly look in to the force field, and they are... You're not big enough to look behind them, so you'd be looking at it upside down. So if you want, you can make a perception check to see if you can read upside down. 4. Unfortunately, as you try and look in, it's just the angle's way too weird, and the writing's way too small. You can't get a good view of it, unfortunately, from this distance and angle.
Shall we go to the stadium?
suppose we shall and can. Sure, absolutely. If you're collecting some of that, if you're not doing too much of a, I will say, are you guys going to kind of like comb through the area, or are you just going to collect a little bit of the substance and then go?
I'd like to comb a bit, if that's alright with
Right.
everyone.
I am curious what this is over here.
Okay, so if you're going to thoroughly inspect the area, go ahead. Actually, I will say, if we're taking the time to do this, you won't need to make checks. It'll just take time. So you can go ahead and just comb through everything. And I will roll to see what you find. I will say, if you scoop up some of the substance that's right there, I will say that you get about 6 vials worth of acid. Just basic acid.
Oh. A fine addition to my collection.
Indeed. But there is something else that you might find, depending. I'm going to roll this right here. Villain, of course, will help you as well. Let's see. Unfortunately, as you try and comb a bit through here, besides the acid, the only things of worth that you think you can find are inside that force field, unfortunately. It seems like whatever else was in here has either been destroyed in the crash, or maybe has been looted long ago. Probably by the inhabitants. And their wild
Can I tell what
imaginings.
this is? Why is it not pinging?
Sorry, not looted. It wouldn't have been looted because it was locked from the inside. So that not that one. But it definitely might have been destroyed in the crash. What are you trying to ping?
That. Finally, ping.
That seems to be an anatomical model of a human individual, sort of stylized. It might be the prototype for the mold.
None of these papers over here are any interesting as we come through it.
No, it just seems to be some anatomical notes about head shapes, structures, fitting them to scale for a model. Nothing too important that you can tell. And some of the only other things over here appear to be stained by acid and ruined. But you did at least get 6 vials of acid. Yay! I will say this. There is this alembic that's filled with that mercury-like substance as well. That you know to be toxic to touch, but...
Well, I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to take a single bottle.
Okay. I will say there is actually like a nice little spigot at the very end that is very easily, you can just like tap that into it and just bubble it up. So yeah, you have 1 vial of mercury.
I see. Oh, so he's like, okay, good. I see. Okay, cool. Alright, that's me done. Some acid, we got some mercury. Look at the party.
Indeed. Alright. So, in that case, you continue onward. So let me put you back towards the map. Let's see, you guys spent, 10 minutes for the ritual cast. 30 minutes to come over, 40 minutes. Okay. Okay. So, 45, yeah. That's about right. Okay. That means you do, in fact, come across the stadium. Go ahead and copy your tokens again. And you guys would be arriving from the west. Relatively close. I'll say the southwest, given the shape here. I just held my book upside down.
Oh no.
As I'm like turning everything over. Ah, yeah. So, as you approach this amphitheater, very much, but almost more like a stadium than an amphitheater, the air around this place is charged with static electricity. Crackled steps descend to the stadium floor, where a tiny glittering object rests on a pedestal of black stone. You see 3 metal masts rise from the arena like gigantic tridents, each one emitting a low hum. The branches of each trident are 25 feet off the ground and extend 50 feet into the air. It's very strange.
You see, in Nerd Ball, what you do is you try to get the Nerd Ball electrified by the giant trident, and then you place it on that pedestal to score.
So, does it like shock you while you walk around?
As you kind of like walk along the stadium around there, you see each step kind of crackles a bit like static electricity, like, but it does not hurt you.
Like, does the Professor Scant, the ball man, understand this at all? We're closer to it.
No.
Huh.
It's delightful, but no. I don't understand a single thing that's going on here. I don't know sports. Ask me about vampires, the Tarrasque, some other things. Elven wine. I am your professor. Sports? No.
IRL, I had a professor who was a history professor who knew a ton about sports because he did a history of sports thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He was awesome. Anyway, back to this.
Indeed. This is gonna look a bit weird because of the angle from the stream, because of how the map is shaped. But that's just how the map is. That's not on the map creator. It's a very long stadium as opposed to being wide. Long. So let's see. What are you just looking at that the ball, Meepo?
The pedestal.
Yeah, it looks like the pedestal appears to be holding a trophy of some kind. A very ornate-looking trophy cup. It's sitting on that pedestal, on that end. It is hovering above the pedestal, seemingly held in place by a magical force.
I will not touch it. I wonder if it's a mimic.
So,
It would be very surprising if it was.
That's when they get you.
yeah. No one ever expects the Mimic Inquisition.
I wonder how this is played. Villain kind of steps around over here, kind of inspecting it. Clearly, I will say, it must involve that ball at the very center. But does one try and strike the ball through these masts, perhaps? I wonder, is it like a goalpost or some other form of... Is there some other sort of elimination process? So many questions, and yet there are no rules that I see nearby. Difficult to formulate.
Maybe like you're supposed to toss the ball back and forth, and at the end of a timer, the thing shoots a bolt of lightning at the person holding the ball.
Were the Netherese a specific race, or were they several races?
Tended to tended between human and elven, I believe. Many half-elves, I believe, whenever there is. I know Loros was a mixture of several different languages, but it was a mixture of elven. I know that. But there was perhaps some dragonborn, I believe. But mostly, a majority of the population, to our knowledge, was human and elven.
So you say there's a ball somewhere? Where is the ball?
So it's not actually on the map, but it is basically. Let's see here.
Is it like behind this pillar?
Hold on, let me double check here. Oh, I'm so sorry. I actually misread. There is actually no black ball. It's the glittering object was in fact the trophy cup that was down there. There is actually no ball. I'm so sorry. I completely misspoke. I misread that. There's no ball that you can see.
The real ball was inside of us all along. And by that I mean it's quite possible that they use like a human organ as a human heart as a ball.
Sure hope not.
Oh. If there's no ball, there doesn't seem to be any way to like actually play this. And I worry that this could discharge just at random.
There's a thing down here, right?
Right, I was looking at
Yeah.
that. I didn't want to touch it.
I'll touch it.
Right, I think you have a little bit more luck with this kind of stuff.
All right, you're going over to touch it, you said?
Yeah.
It's very shiny.
Yes.
Let me see here.
Touch.
All right. Hold on. I need, like... Hang on. Oh, I need, like, some specific music for this that I don't have. How about this?
Evan, what's happening?
Are we activating the sport?
There we go, it's perfect. The Complex by Kevin McLeod. So, as you touch the trophy, a shimmering head and shoulders of a woman blink into existence above the arena floor. Electrical currents course over her metal teeth, and her form stutters and flickers as she speaks in a strange language. Metamaru, Saramanti Sakarain, Matafaru. You all look towards Velen. Hold on. She's saying, so, a new challenger enters the arena. You have 30 seconds to choose your teammates for a game of chain lightning.
Pick me!
Ah, nerd ball.
Alright, I'll join, I guess.
Yeah, come on in. Let's play some chain lightning. Isn't it like the name of a really dangerous spell?
It is, yes.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said pick me.
Concern intensifies.
Scales, you got healing spells ready?
I don't have a darn thing as far as healing goes.
Oh.
You got what kind of what spells you got?
Come on, Saturday! You have 20 seconds on the clock, she says.
I have Sickening Radiance, Polymorph, Animate Objects. No, I don't have Animate Objects, I use that. Tongues, Command, Bane, Comprehend Language, Calm Emotions.
I feel like polymorph might be useful for sports, right? Monkey?
Yeah. That may help.
Okay. So my team is myself, Skanuk, Scales. How many people are on a team? Meepo.
Valin, you want to join in, or are you staying out of this one?
Do you want me on your team? You know what? I'll participate.
Sure.
I'll be a good noodle.
The more the merrier.
It's a team growing exercise. We're building team.
Yes, we're building character. Oh gosh, this is just like the academy. Oh,
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to bring back any bad memories.
oh no, it's fine. Alright, suddenly, you are all teleported to the center of the arena right here. Shoo, shoo, shoo. And teleported to the other side. Shoo, 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 shoo.
Hey, more blue guys.
More.
Oh, is this just like a blood sport? Because that's gonna be easy.
6 of these blue-skinned individuals will appear onto the field.
Yeah.
Shabba-da-dee! And with that, the game begins.
You're
So,
gonna have to translate for us, Valin.
yes, she said, so let the games begin. Oh dear. I don't know how this is played!
We'll just try to beat them.
Start with not getting hit by lightning, and we'll go from there.
Alright, so,
Or, wait, what if it's about how many bolts of lightning you can survive?
I just lost it. Hang on. Here we go. You will watch as several iron balls will randomly appear in different spots on the arena. And everyone, all the other opposing team, begins to run for these iron balls.
Grab them, I
You
guess?
gotta get the balls.
Alright,
I
so
wish you had.
everybody, make
Hell.
a. This is going to be a bit strange, but make an athletics check, but using your dexterity instead of your strength.
So I'll roll dexterity.
And you will do
add my
so
proficiency
at disadvantage for you all specifically, because you don't know the rules.
Right. Right. Athletics with dexterity. I guess it really doesn't matter. Oh, it does.
That'll
It does matter,
be-
significantly.
10.
10 plus 4. So I'll get 14.
So I don't have proficiency in either of these, so I'm just going to roll acrobatics if that's all right.
Yeah, I didn't have proficiency in
And yet, I am.
dexterity saves, so just use that. Feels like I could just use dexterity.
Alright, so. The highest among you was Skanuk. You watch Skanuk as one of the other individuals kind of like grabs. They all kind of scurry for a ball, but then all but one manages to disappear. And this individual right here grabs it. And you grab your ball as well. Let's see here. Let me double check this. This is actually quite complicated. Apologies.
Tabletop RPG, sports. Isn't that just a grand time?
Yes, we've done this once before. And it was playtesting a tabletop RPG sport.
Makes me kind of wish the rules for Mage's Tower were a little more complete. In Strixhaven, rather than just being a series of checks.
I wish Uxu was more streamlined.
Indeed, indeed. So, you will watch as all these individuals will begin moving forward, only slightly, and begin passing the ball around against each other. So that seems like they're making some sort of athletics check to do so. Everyone else can make athletic checks as well. This was just still using dexterity, but they are still but these checks are all still a disadvantage.
So you pass the ball.
So I got a 13 with my.
I got a 15.
I'm going to. How many of these do I have left? I'm going to give myself Flash of Genius. Give myself a 16 on that one. We don't still have Emboldening Bond, do we?
I think so. I think it's been within 10 minutes.
Oh, that would have been better then, in that case. Yeah, so I would have had 14. Never mind the Flash of Genius. I'd like to rescind that, if that's possible.
Alright, so let's see here.
I would have had 17 then.
Let's see. The winner is Canuck again. These individuals pass between each other as they are going forward. Going between the two. And one will try and make an attack roll against one of your friends. And then you may also make an attack roll. Now this, as you're throwing this is technically a simple ranged weapon with the finesse and thrown properties. You can throw it up to 120 feet.
See. Who's throwing it?
I think I understand
You wanted this. Go ahead and you throw it.
Oh. Okay. Thrown weapon, light finesse. So I guess I'll just use the dagger.
This one's throwing it at Meatbo.
Is this throwing it normal?
Yes, it's throwing it is normal.
25.
25.
AC is 16.
You hit this one right here. Gets teleported out of the arena. And then you, Meepo, you get hit as well. You get teleported out of the arena as well.
Am I able to still watch, I'm assuming?
Yes, you are.
I'm going to watch this guy and see if he ever gets back in.
Is this dodgeball?
How? Is there a way that I could, instead of how do I put this? Instead of, should we try a cheat? Is what I'm gonna go ahead and start with. I've got an awful idea.
I mean, I don't know if what we're doing is going to be against the rules or what. I don't know what the rules even are.
So my thought is to try and hold my action and cast the catapult spell on any ball that approaches us.
Ooh.
Do you have to touch it?
No, actually, catapult, you can hit any object in 60 feet.
Yeah, buddy.
It is, in fact, significantly more powerful than I ever knew.
Hawks, wait for an opportunity to use their cloud rune too, because you might be able to get them to get themselves out.
Yeah, I need to be pretty close for that.
Right.
But I could runic shield potentially.
That's true.
So, the balls are land directly where they hit the individual in question. At this point, whoever is the closest can quickly run up and grab it.
That would be me.
Right, that would be you. Now you notice, Scales, as the one right here picks up the ball, he lines up right here and throws the ball in between one of the tines of the trident. He has to...
Am I able to do the whole held action thing or no?
You can, actually. You can. So, he doesn't manage to get in between. He rolls just below, unfortunately. But it does still bounce a few times towards your direction.
I will try to cast the catapult spell and bonk someone with it.
Get a little closer so I can bless you.
Alright, Scales, and you may also make a simple ranged weapon attack. So
Not sure how we're allowed to move. But alright.
So that would be what?
just a regular dex, just a simple dex roll.
Advantage or disadvantage?
Just regular. Six. Unfortunately, the ball kind of goes wise as it hits the other side of the arena. The catapult, though, that's a dexterity save. So for the purposes of this, let's see, which, I'll just say it hits a random one, and they all had the same dexterity save. That's a failure. So one of them will be teleported out of the arena, leaving 4 left.
You think maybe catching them will bring somebody back in? Anybody wanna?
Maybe that's what he tried to do by getting it through the fork.
Oh, maybe. It could just take us all out.
That does mean, however, that now there are 2 balls on the opposite side of the field.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's gonna suck.
2 of the closest ones will scramble for it. Both will line up.
There are no lines. I don't know if you guys can try to scramble for them too. Unless the line is the central pole.
Both will attempt to roll their balls through the tines. And they will, in fact, roll through. You will watch as the iron ball begins to crackle with lightning. Yes, go ahead.
I just yelled duck and cover.
Indeed. Let's see, let me double check the rules for this, because there's also another step on the process. Okay. It has to pass that and then repeat step 1 to determine. Okay. This is interesting. So as the balls pass through, you will watch as they become imparted with electrical energy, and then will begin to bounce in random directions. Now here comes the scramble. Who will get custody of the electrically charged balls? So, I need everyone to make dexterity athletics checks again, and this time there will be a competing check between you and the opposing team.
Okay. Are we still at disadvantage?
You're still disadvantaged, yes.
Cool. Oh god. Now I'll be using that flash of genius and the
Oh yeah, they rolled really badly too.
Okay, I got a 12. Probably didn't need to use all that, but
Fox got a 9. And I will use the emboldening bond to make it a 10.
Make it 10. Alright, so 20. Let's see here. And there's a 5, 7, 10. Let's see. Sorry, math. 7. Math! Okay, with the emboldening bond, you managed to beat out them with one of the balls. However, custody still needs to be taken over the second ball now. So, I'm going to roll mine again. And now you guys roll yours. I have to roll for Villain as well. I'm silly.
Are these guys doing anything outside of the ring?
There
Or are
we
they just
go.
sitting there?
No, they are out of the game. You find. Oh, Villain.
Okay, so I've got a 18 an 18 for mine. This
Okay.
time.
Both
I haven't.
your team gets custody of both of the balls. It was a risky move on their part to try and get something more out of this, but it seems like it did not come out in their favor. You now have custody of both of them.
Who has them?
I will say the ones who rolled the highest, that was Hawks. And the second highest, I will say,
Scales.
was Scales.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just be back here trying to dodge.
Okay, well, it seems like a good time as any to step forward with one and try and pelt someone with it. I will be attacking with my strength, because I don't have to use the finesse property.
True.
And I'm just going to roll this like it's a javelin.
Fair enough. I'll take that.
This will be not disadvantage anymore.
Can I hold on to the ball for a quote-unquote round and polymorph into an ape?
You can try and see what happens.
I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay.
That's a fun way of putting it.
Alright, my yeet is an 11. If I can use Emboldening Bond, it'll be more, but...
Alright, here. Let's see. How much was that with the Emboldening Bond?
I'll add 2 more for 13.
13? Unfortunately, you watch as the electrically charged ball misses one of the Magen.
You know what? I'm gonna step in with that, and I'm going to use my last use of Flash Genius.
Okay. With that,
+5.
you curve the shot. As part of the lightning, you tap into the source of your stone rune. You provide from the guidance of Skinnock. Use the storm rune. Ka-choom, shoo-pum, and it manages to hit one of these creatures right in the side of its face. And as it does, it shoots a spark of lightning that hits the creature next to it. Double check. Yes. Because of that, both the player that was hit and the player that was struck by the randomly determined lightning is out of the game. For you, Scales, you polymorph into a giant ape. And then, as you're holding the ball, you get shocked.
Ah!
But no one is around you, within 5 feet.
Am I shunted?
You are
Dang.
shunted.
Dang.
Well, it was a good
It
try.
was a good thought, but unfortunately, it was. If it wasn't charged, you most likely could have held on to it, but because of the electricity, unfortunately not.
I see. So once the ball's charged, you gotta act quickly.
So, there's now 2 left.
I'll go ahead and remain a monkey for the hour.
All right,
So,
gotcha.
Howling at the.
did the shocking deal any damage to me?
Good question. Let me see here. It technically did. Technically, it should have been doing damage for the bludgeoning as well, but I'm kind of ignoring it for this. The lightning, though, will deal some damage. You take
So,
3
like,
points of lightning
1 point?
damage. You have advantage on these. Yeah, okay, good. The 18, you're fine. That means there's now 1 ball in their court and 1 ball in yours. The closest one in this case is Velin. Oh dear. Oh boy. Here I go. Here she goes. She's gonna throw. Okay. Yeah, Bardic Inspiration. Alright, that's what is that at this level?
It's a D10, and I'm doing it on Hawks.
Doing it on Hawks, gotcha. Alright. The enemy team this time will not take the risk, it will simply throw the ball. 13 at you, Hawks.
That will come nowhere near my AC.
Yeah. Villain, however, toom, hits the Magian, leaving only one creature on the other side of the field.
We're really good at this.
Somehow.
So,
I believe the term was beginner's luck.
Don't say that. This isn't luck. This is skill. Pure skill. At Nerdball.
yes, pure skill. I am the best at Chain Lightning. Villain will kind of like raise her hands up. I now see the appeal of sports.
As do I. This is fascinating to study.
First-hand studying, yeah. By the way, Villain, you're doing a lot better than I did. Good job. Glad you played.
She kind of does like pumps her arm up in the air. Then kind of calms herself, getting a little bit too much at the moment.
Watch out. I think they have one over there.
Indeed they do. You both of you have one, and Hawks, the ball is closest to you for now. So, let's roll. This one's aiming at Villain. And he will miss Villain.
How?
I don't know. But you have the chance to end this now, Hawks.
Alright, I will grab it and I will yeet it straight at him. Rolling another 11.
But you have Bardic
no.
Inspiration.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take that. That's a D10, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will definitely take that.
Shaboom! The last player on the opposing team is knocked out of the ring.
I am winner.
The winner is us.
A fanfare erupts from around the arena as sparks of lightning shoot from between the tines, creating an enigmatic pattern of symbols and arcane sigils up in the sky. And that female form kind of like appears once more. Shada! Yes, she says, we have our winner. Congratulations, guest team. And you will watch as the trophy on the pedestal slowly floats over to you, gently.
I think this would go really well with your robe, Skinnock.
Aw,
Shoot.
shucks, man.
And as
I
you...
think that could go well in our little house we're planning. Maybe like on a
Yeah.
mantelpiece.
As you
As we
grasp
went.
the trophy, it suddenly begins to shimmer. And it was fancy looking before, but suddenly it looks even more fancy, as if an illusion was disrupted from it. It seems to be made not from steel or silver, but from mithril, embedded with 3 blue spinal gems.
Oh. The trophy disappears on Snook's person.
But no, it is, as you kind of carry it, Hawks, you feel good. Like, maybe it's the euphoria of being a champion at the sport of chain lightning. But you feel pretty good while you're carrying this. And to be more specific, I need to look up something.
Again, I do think I am handing it over to Skinnock, though.
Yeah, you do feel that sense as you're holding it, but you Skinnock, you feel it too. You get the sense that you should probably get in tune with this whatever this is, or you might want to identify it because clearly it has a magical origin to it.
Well, we've just won a magic item. Beating the game of sports ball. Are the Are the losers? Is the loser team still there? Are they crying little Mercury tears?
You see them, they're just kind of staring at you, and they suddenly hold up their hands.
Yeah, that doesn't feel
Good
very
sports.
sincere coming from someone
Yeah, that's
that's,
much worse.
yeah, so from someone who's, like, completely stoic, that's, yeah.
They are
Well-
very monotonously clapping. No emotion. Like there's no anger or
They're programmed to be good sports, at least. Designed, intended. I don't know.
and then suddenly
Seems peaceful.
shoo, shoo,
I think we should adapt to this.
they disappear. Well, I think we earned that rest.
I agree. You can compile notes, and we can discuss where our next steps are.
I've come to learn a lot from just interacting with what I've seen so far. Despite the advanced nature of the civilization, they quite like their entertainment. I wonder if what else we might find that might lead to such almost frivolous usage of magic. Advanced, for sure, but frivolous. Given the personality of the gargoyles as well, I'm almost. She kind of gets like a little bit of a look on her face. Roll insight.
Coming up. Not at disadvantage because I'm not trying to understand the
Yeah,
sport. I
it's
don't know.
free.
I think it would be pretty easy to say, from what we've seen so far, that a big part of why the city was able to fall was that its people seemed to be taking magic for granted in a large degree.
And you will see with the insight, Meepo, she largely seems to begin to agree with what Hawks is saying. And perhaps has come to that conclusion. But there is still much more research to be done, so she steels herself, and she will nod.
I think there's a bit more to it, but maybe that's a start.
I
Maybe
believe,
they were
yes, that is it.
taking it too lightly and did something they shouldn't have while they were doing that.
Yes, clearly there is more to it than that. There is still the source of whatever that explosion or magical arcane catastrophe that occurred. There is
Once
still
we
that.
learn what it is, it'll be a good warning to avoid what they did.
Indeed, we certainly don't
Or
want a
modern.
repeat of that.
Betcha it's related to that obelisk in your nightmares.
That's what I was thinking.
Perhaps. We have yet to see. So the question is, should we head back towards the causeway, or should we rest here?
I don't know. I like the idea of taking a rest with a within sight of the site of our victory.
Understood.
I'm okay with it. I kind of wanted to check in on the Dryad, but we can do that another time.
Very well, should we set up the dome then? She flips through her spell book. I believe I have some spells to copy into my spell book.
I have some spells to prepare overnight.
I've got some stuff to build and enchant. Your Fox is going to keep getting big. So we need a solution to that.
I'm gonna get ready to have dispel magic for tomorrow. So if you don't have that, I'll have it.
Alright, so you go ahead and cast Leovin's tiny hut. You take the preparations for rest, and you spend 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep in this area. However, there are a couple things that happen. So, let's get the elephant out of the room right away. Hey, Hux.
Yes.
Your height increases by 8 feet. One for each hour. You are now considered a large creature.
Means I'm now 14 feet tall.
And you take up 4 squares.
Indeed you do. So let's fix that.
Any other effects that happen as I'm getting this big?
I believe there actually is. I need to double check. Let me see.
Let's see. I'm going to take
Let's see. What is your strength score, Hawks?
off.
16.
It becomes 19.
Okay. I'll take that.
Let's see here. You said you were 14 now?
Yes.
So, I think let's see. Your strength score. So, I will say you notice this. With the 3 additional feet that you gain, and then not quite that much, your strength score increases by 1. You are now strength score 20.
Oh, I like this.
Kobold.
Yeah, that affects all of my attack rolls and stuff, so yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Yes, I'm technically just under 15 feet tall now. I'm 14 foot 9.
Oh.
There's also something else that happens. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
From being on the lightning thing.
This includes villain. Okay. Let me see here. Okay.
It's probably not like it's not something like weird, right? If it's con save and you just get sick, maybe.
So there is something that you notice in the morning. As you will kind of wake up, you notice that both Villain and Hux, their skin looks real clammy.
What about Meepo?
What do you mean, roll? Oh, Meepo as well. Yes, I somehow missed that.
Before the day is over, while we're settling in, I'm casting sending, so I'm typing up the message now.
Casting sending. Okay, good to know. Yeah, so this will happen during the long rest.
Is there any way I can indomitable that?
I'll say you can. I'll say because of your giant strength and the gift of Lagomir, I will say you can.
Does it seem like a disease?
9. Roll medicine. It still affects you.
So it's not a disease. So medicine. I'm gonna try to roll medicine just to figure out what I think it might be, though.
Whatever this is, it is not natural. This is clearly given your affinity for Eldath. This is no.
It's cursed.
You think it might be some form of curse, and it's only when you kind of slept in the city. It doesn't. This wasn't in the caves or anywhere near the glacier. It's only as you've been sleeping in the city.
Fast remove curse on myself.
Okay, let me see here. Okay. You cast remove on yourself, feeling the weirdness and clammy skin, and you feel okay. You're fine.
Valen, you want some help? You're looking a little cursed.
Villain will actually recoil slightly. No, I don't think. I think I'm fine.
All right. If you need it later, I still got it.
I will
And,
let you know.
Hawks made this save, right?
Yes. I got a 20 on the Indomitable roll, so hopefully that makes the save.
You feel clammy skin. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, with this strange revelation, something is happening in this city. More so than you believed before. Especially given how long you've been here. Exposure to the city over time might be having an effect on you. Question is, how long can you last?
Did it seem like those Dark Elves had anything going on with them? Does anything seem... like the ones that we encountered outside of the city?
I would say...
Anything, like, looking back, do we think anything might have been up there?
With this new knowledge, go ahead and roll a roll it in medicine or insight, your choice.
I'm much better with medicine, so we are going to do medicine, and I do not know.
Do an insight check here.
Yeah. Brionok would have responded to you.
Oh, this wouldn't have the +2 there.
Okay. Their skin did look slightly clammy to the look to them. But you didn't think anything of it at the time, given the lighting, and maybe because it wasn't on the best light, maybe you didn't notice right away.
Not met too many dark elves, so.
Yeah, you haven't met too many of them in your lifetime, so maybe it wouldn't have mattered much. But looking back on it, no, there was something similar that might have happened to them. They must not have been here for very long, though, because that was all that happened, and they were outside the city, so who knows how long they actually spent in there. But Rionok would have responded to you. She says, thank goodness. I'm glad you're all right. I'll see what I can do. Oh, and, friends on the way.
Huh. I'll let them know about the friends on the way.
You think you know who that is. You're pretty sure who that is. You know
I
who it
think,
is.
we can, expect a murder bird any minute now. I wonder... Gonna send to, this would have been last night, right?
Yes, this would have been last night that you sent that, so that you would have everything refreshed.
I'd have used another sending that night to send to, golly, Muerte Blanca. Saying, Muerte, we, went down tunnels, in an ice hole, past some, large carnivorous-looking worms. Avoid those for now. We'll try to take them on the way back. With your help.
Why must you ruin Marte's fun?
I just want you to have witnesses.
You can't respond. You
I
can't
know.
respond, but I know. But you'll just...
I'm gonna tell him, I just want you to have witnesses when it gets back.
Why do you ruin Marte's fun? But Marte understands. Marte will try to learn in the ways of stealth, but makes no promises. There may be a welcome wagon
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
of worms.
A worm come wagon.
Muerte with 6 giant Remerahas chasing after him.
I warned you.
Incoming.
I brings the party.
Hey, Muerte has relentless.
It's true. She has some survivability. But I think this is where we will call the session for tonight.
No, I mean Muerte gains the indomitable ability.
Right. She does. So she has she can reroll saving throws with that and checks, to my knowledge.
So Hawks is a big boy now.
Yeah. You're gonna keep growing, buddy.
Pretty happy about that. So it definitely seems like huge is the destination.
Yeah, and with that comes the benefits of strength and the disadvantages of not being able to fit into normal places.
Ah, yes, that reminds me. Using the feature spell storing item. So there are 2 items I want to make over the course of this long rest.
Yes.
First of all is a spell storing item, and that will be to infuse Hawks' battle axe with the spell Enlarge Reduce.
Good.
Yes, so you can cast the spell Enlarge Reduce 10 times per day, apparently.
It's very helpful.
Which is frankly terrifying to me, but alright. Oh no, you can cast it 10 times and then it loses the power, at which point I have to refresh it.
Indeed. The way I like to think of it, it gives the amount of uses it gives makes it almost on par spellcasting wise as if you were a full caster, to my knowledge. Like,
definitely, yeah. Like that is a frankly terrifying ability.
Really cool though. It gives artificers something really fun.
It is amazing.
It takes a while for them to actually
really
get it, but like, when they do.
The second thing I shall do is I shall take a board and I shall take some metal scrap bits and I will assemble them into a clipboard.
Okay. Easy enough to do.
Put a sheet of parchment on it, and I shall. And with this tool, I shall infiltrate every secure facility known to man.
Oh boy!
I have a clipboard. I'm official.
Oh no! Oh no! Special delivery!
Just write out the fake company name at the top.
Yep.
Oh no! All right. Ending the stream for you this time. If you've been watching, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you all stay safe wherever you are. But until then, we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.